Get ready! You're about to listen to the Anime Addicts Anonymous podcast. Make your anime addiction worse at AAApodcast.com. And now, here are your anime addicts.
Welcome into the podcast, the 740th episode of the Anime Addicts Anonymous podcast, where our sole mission is to make that anime addiction worse, grow it in your heart and your mind, see it in your dreams, feel it when you eat breakfast. Welcome to the show. I am your host, Mitsugi, and I am joined by the whole crew. We have Caroline. We'll start with this time because she's got a drinky, and she's going to be feeling it.
Yep, got a little drinky. Feeling good this weekend. It's a gorgeous weekend here in the New England area because we just suffered a major storm.
Yay.
It was terrible. But this weekend, gorgeous, and it's been pretty good so far. I'm glad to continue it with you guys because it's been a little while. 2 weeks, actually.
And he's very handsome. He has great hair. I gave all of mine to him. His name's Mason.
That's me. I honestly, if someone said I have a drinky, I would think it has like a sippy cup on it. Like I think that's, oh, the baby has a drinky, like that sort of thing.
I would put the sippy cup on it if I had one.
No, I'm a sleepy boy. I even got my sleepy time shirt on because I'm so tired. I don't know why. I'm just
well,
tired, man. I'm tired, boss.
I'm so tired.
So much anime.
And if you look at my background and you see absolutely nothing, you'll know that I am moving this week to another place yet again. I'm just nomadic.
It's the last episode of you in your little loft.
The question is, are you ready for the next episode?
Oh my god.
I
am so excited. Are you going to broadcast from a closet, perhaps?
I don't think so. I'm planning on building a new studio in my office, and I'm planning on having a much better background than we have now. So I'm going to do my best, but for now I am in full nomadic mode, moving yet again. This is just a new journey. It's just another chapter of life opening up.
I feel like we need a christening of the new location studio. Like not episode 1, but sometime I feel like Caroline and I both need to make the journey down there to do like a IRL 3-person, like the good old days of the podcast, back when you had friends.
But we would need to go to Nashville. I don't know how close you'd be to Nashville, but I need to go to Nashville. That's worth it.
That's doable.
Yeah, I'd say like one day at your house, then several days in Nashville.
I think there's Buc-ee's pretty much everywhere in that area, but yes.
No, because when I was in Nashville last time, and you're driving on the highway, the billboards say not like 2 miles down the road, 5 miles down the road. It'll be like 176 miles to the next Buc-ee's, and you're like, who is that hype that they're counting that many miles out? But they are. People love the Buc-ee's.
Are you driving to your new abode?
Yes, I am. I'm driving a U-Haul. A U-Haul.
How far is that drive?
Pretty damn. So there is a Buc-ee's.
Probably 13 hours.
There is a Buc-ee's 15 miles east of Knoxville, which is where I'm heading. So
okay.
Oh, it's very far. I'm going to be driving a U-Haul, pulling a motorcycle, and it'll probably take 25 hours. Due to the low speed of the U-Haul. So
yeah.
I hope you can do some fun touristy things on the way. Make a road trip.
Just
Nebraska,
pain, baby.
My
Pure
favorite.
Pain. It's just
that's the worst
the
drive in the country.
I hope there's like a giant rubber ball band that you can visit. I feel like that's the thing you go to see whenever you're driving a long way to somewhere. Apparently, there's a giant rubber ball band everywhere.
Well, they all can't be the largest. Anyway, so yeah, I will be in a different place when we broadcast. There will be no podcast next week on the 18th because, well, obviously I will be not here, and I don't know. I won't even be able to edit. So, but we will be back on the 25th recording live, so fear not. And of course, if you want to watch us live, you can do so on twitch.tv/AAA podcast. Currently, it's at 5 p.m. Eastern, but I may discuss with the the fam here and see if they would like a different time, because now we will all be in the same time zone, which is probably going to be convenient. We'll
That'd be
figure that out.
crazy.
And of course, we're on all social medias. You want to find us on Twitter, TikTok. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on our Discord, AAADiscord.com. Listen, if you want to join all the fun, if you want to watch the watch parties, if you want to be involved in the 5Ks, if you want to get all the
Yeah, we need to
news,
discuss that.
if you want to join the Fantasy Football League, you got to go to the Discord. And speaking of the Discord, or speaking of the Fantasy Football League, I have one spot available. The buy-in is $100. The winner will get $1,000. So if you want to join the Fantasy Football League in its 13th year, you can go to the Discord, send me a DM, and I will get you in. We have one spot remaining, so do not sleep on that. Also, more announcements. We are going to finish our summer impressions for this week, so you're going to know all the anime we have passed after this episode concludes, which will leave us with our, yes, you guessed it, the listener choice. So we do that every single quarter for you, where the listeners will be picking 3 of the anime that we will do reviews on from the summer season. That will also be announced on the Discord and social media as well. You can also get it on the website, aapodcast.com. My God, so much talking. Okay, so that's what we do here.
So much talking.
So today on the podcast, we're going to do sharks with frickin' laser beams attached to their heads, the Shark Tank edition. So we're going to do that. We have a lot of Shark Tanks in our mailbag to do, so we don't want to leave them hanging for too long on the hook. You like that? You like that?
Well, you don't fish for sharks, but
Oh, you do.
You can fish for sharks.
Oh, you
I
can.
mean, not typically.
Mitch just ties a bungee cord to his waist and just jumps in the ocean with a spear. So, some people do it differently than others.
I just let it hang in the water, Mason. You know what I'm saying? Off the side of the
you
boat.
just hang dong off the side and just...
Yeah, because it's only...
We were doing so well. We were like 10 minutes in to this show, and I thought, are we going to get a dirty joke today? I don't know. I don't think so.
He's just
And
priming
there
for
it
the
is.
hentai episode, because my penis is only 2 inches from the ground. Okay, baby, that's what I'm talking about.
Got him.
Got him. Oh man, what's in the mail today? So we're going to be doing the summer impressions. It's the end of the line for the summer. Plus-sized elf, Rising Impact,
Exciting.
Oshinoko Season 2, Makeine, Too Many Losing Heroines, Alya sometimes hides her feelings in Russian. What is with these titles? They're giving up on these titles. And the Elusive Samurai. So holy crap. So much stuff to get to. Let's not delay. It's time for the big news of the week.
おー、大ニュースです。It's time for big news of the week.
Wow, the Olympics is over. We just talked about it for an hour on our after party, or on our Hobby Addicts, whatever the hell that was. And there was so much content from the Olympics that involved anime. There were even some articles talking about whether or not the divide between jocks and nerds had disappeared entirely due to so many references. I don't even know where to begin with all this, but there were definitely a lot of Olympians giving like Naruto signs, and of course there's also all the shooting memes. There were a bunch of dudes that were shooting, doing like JoJo poses. Did you guys catch any of these?
I mean, I wouldn't call the shooting poses a JoJo. I mean, there are references to
think
JoJo, but the person wasn't
they were
doing it
intentional.
because they like anime. But
Yeah, I
there
think
were
people were
definitely-
just making jokes about it.
But there was definitely people wearing like One Piece socks and like very obviously making anime references, which you love to see.
There were, was it Lyles was doing like his hand signals. Someone did a Luffy. I'm gonna put it up here on the Twitch for people if I can get this image. There was somebody was doing like some kind of a pose from One Piece where he's like bent over and he's punching the ground. There was that. The
Dawn pose.
Oh, is that what that's called?
I mean, that's what the sound effect that plays with it. So yeah,
Yeah, that's
what I call it.
Haiku music played at the Olympics. So there was
when
that.
And
Japan
during the Japan
won, yeah.
match in volleyball.
Goku's Ultra Instinct song played in the Olympics because I don't know. I wouldn't even be able to recognize that song probably because I just haven't watched Dragon Ball Super quite enough. There was some pretty hilarious Gojo finger poses from track and field, so that are obviously exact replicas. So, did you guys catch any of these live, or did you just catch it on TikTok via your friends or family members the way that I did?
Yeah, I haven't seen much of that live, but I have seen it everywhere on social media. Especially, I think the first one I heard about was Noah Lyles taking out his Yu-Gi-Oh card before. I don't know if it was like the trials or like in.
I think that was in the trials.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, was that just because he knew he was going to win for sure?
Yeah, he's that cocky. I mean, I love him, but he's cocky as heck.
Well, I mean, when you're the fastest man in the, like, is he the fastest man? I guess he is the fastest man in the world right
One of
now. I mean, just think about how cocky the Usain Bolt was. I mean, he was like,
I know, but he was like a kind of like a folk hero of sorts. Like he had that kind of personality. But and I'm not saying like it's wrong for him to be a bit cocky. I mean, because he can walk the walk and he can run the run. It's
Nice.
just and I'm sure that confidence really played a part in his success. But he is cocky.
Yeah, so go look it up online, people. There's a lot, so much. It was so wild. I mean, they were, I guess it's because all these Olympians are like, in their early 20s, and they are growing up with anime now. So you've got literal kamehamehas being thrown, One Piece, a lot of shonen references. So they say they say there's those JoJo shooting references, but I don't know. You guys said maybe not, but I don't really know.
I think they were not intentional on the athlete's part. I think they were
someone
just
can look at them and say
memes.
that's a JoJo reference, but it's not
Yeah.
something intended by the shooters.
So yeah, and then of course you had your One Piece socks from the weightlifters and et cetera, et cetera. So just a lot of fun.
Is
at the
anime
Olympics.
cool now?
Ew,
Maybe not, but at least it is
Oh,
worldwide.
it's fucking cool, bro. It's cool. Who is cooler than an Olympian? I mean, they're physical freaks. They're Greek gods in modern age. And
Meanwhile, you got Steven from the men's gymnastics, and he looks like the biggest nerd possible. He can do a Rubik's Cube in under a minute. He's that kind of guy. But then he gets on the pommel horse, and he just takes it home.
Okay, all right. So I just watched a clip on Twitter of Muratake Rashid from Japan comes out of the tunnel and does the straight up like sideways body, hand in the face JoJo pose.
Yeah. We got some leaks.
Oh my god.
We're leaking over here. Netflix is, well, it's really not Netflix, but it's also kind of Netflix. Earlier this week, a bunch of shows and movies that are set to come out in the future on Netflix were leaked online. We have 12 episodes of the new Ranma 1/2, the first 6 episodes of Dan Dan, the first couple episodes of the 3rd season of ReZero, the entire new Mononoke movie, as well as Terminator Zero, and a bunch of non-anime related things such as the 2nd season of Arcane, Heartstopper season 3, SpongeBob SquarePants Plankton movie, and Spellbound. So a ton of stuff set to air on Netflix has been leaked. Now, before you get too excited and be like, oh, let me go online and find it, they're definitely not for the public consumption quality. They're all like 360p. They have timestamps and blurred watermarks and a ton of stuff that just makes them not the optimum viewing experience. Right now, the suspicion is that it came from one of the either localization places or just bad production management and got out somehow. It's not like from Netflix directly. Regardless, it's always kind of funny when something like this happens and you're just like, this kind of sucks. I haven't seen them. I'm not going to. But if you really can't wait, you could go out and watch those things illegally and early. But I don't know. Leaks are kind of
If
a
they're going
bummer.
to leak something, they should at least make it high quality.
Yeah, come on. Think of the children. They just want to watch Ranma 1/2 now. They want to watch it today, and they don't have time to wait. But
had these been announced at least, or are these even not announced?
No, these are all things. Well, the interesting thing to me is like Dan Dan we knew, Ranma 1/2 we knew were coming to Netflix, but the Mononoke movie still hadn't been as far as I know, announced as to where you could watch it. So if this is news like, hey, it's going to be on Netflix, that's great news. That's the big takeaway from the story if that ends up being the case. That it would go there, which is, I think we all pretty much agree that Netflix is a pretty good platform as far as going to watch stuff and like getting a good player and getting good, options of language selection and
I think it's the
all
best.
that kind of quality. Yeah, so I hope so. But there you go. Just a fun fact that even multi-bajillion-dollar corporations still have things that just they can't contain. So there you go.
And the reality is that the nerds, us included, they can't resist. There's no way. They're not going to be able to resist watching 12 episodes of the new Ranma 1/2, although I have no idea why they're making that. Or the first episode of the third season of ReZero. Give me a break. Come on. If Game of Thrones, the House of the Dragon season 3 got leaked today, and there were like 2 episodes leaked, I'd fucking watch them. Come on.
Yeah. The other thing is I'm up here on my high horse. Like, I would never watch such low 360p quality stuff. Like, I'm above that. But then I also watched the Dandadan episode, like the opening of it, like 7 times just to hear the OP, which is absolutely banging, and I'm so excited for that show. So what do I know?
I will say I'm super surprised they're making more of something like Rom the 1/2, unless it's a remake. Because
I believe it is.
It's so old though. It's like no one even there. Come on, no one's gonna watch Rom the 1/2.
I mean, they did it with the Kenshin. That's
but nobody watched that.
And there you go.
But this is way older than Kenshin. I mean, this is like Yurusei Yatsura coming back. Like that's it's about the same. Well,
pretty popular though.
There are some people on the Twitch that say, "Well, Mitz, you're just stupid." So, man, I guess that's probably right.
See that there?
Well, I know. I just took their words and I massaged them into a.
There's no words to take that from.
Captain Avatar said he's gonna watch it.
Well, that's a far cry from Mitz. You're stupid.
And Kamichi says so as well. So there you go. I'm just wrong.
It's the 3rd anime adaptation of the manga.
The 3rd one. Well,
that's nuts.
Yeah, Rumiko Takahashi reigns supreme yet again.
She just makes so much bang material that people love.
I just love Inuyasha. That's my jam right there. That shit's my jam. Okay, so we are going to be doing anything else?
No.
Okay. Well, we are going to be doing a Shark Tank episode here for you. We have 10 submissions from our lovely listeners, and I should say, if you want to submit a Shark Tank to the podcast, you go to our mailbag, okay? AAA mailbag, aapodcast.com/mailbag. We'll get you to the mailbag. You just click the option for Shark Tanks. Please read the instructions, and then you submit your ideas, and we will do them as we're going to right now. And here's your drop.
Who are the sharks? They're self-made business experts worth billions. Mitsuki is a self-proclaimed holy man and a world-renowned enemy of moe girls, raised billions for his church through the Kick the Filth into the Pit of Anime Hell Foundation to lead the fight against moe. Mason, retail empire king and all-around food fanatic, started a grassroots movement and raised $500 million through his new retail food-themed line of skin creams called Pleasures of the Flesh. Caroline, a once humble social media giant turned queen of all media when she founded Otome Radio and built a net worth of $5 billion, blanketing the world in Otome radio waves. These are the sharks, and this is Anime Shark Tank.
Welcome to the Shark Tank, where we are going to be reading your suggestions for new anime that do not exist currently, complete with titles and how you think they will make money, etc. And then we will tell you whether or not we buy into your ideas or whether or not we will cast you, I don't know, into the pit of anime hell or wherever you deserve to go. So Well, without delay, do you guys want to just jump right into it here? There's not a whole lot of explanation needed, so
I think so. I just have one question
Absolutely.
for you guys.
Yeah, yes, please.
Do you think the summer season of shows maybe not being as good as you expected or better than you expected is going to cause you to be more harsh or critical? Like, is the bar lowered on anime so you'll think you'll pass anything? Or you think, no, enough is enough. I'm putting my foot down.
Listen.
I only want the good ideas.
Listen, I'm currently, as we speak, watching an anime called Succubus Connect, episode 2, which we'll be covering in our hentai episode. And let's just say that I'm ready to fucking go, okay? So I have washed away the sins of the summer season with boobies. I mean, that's the bottom line. So, yeah, I hope that answers your question.
I
No
think
matter
so.
how bad the seasons get, my personal expectations of anime quality will never lower. I
Wow.
There
may
we
watch
go.
mids, but I'm certainly not going to put my money on them.
Well, I hope these submissions brought their A game then, because Caroline's here to lay down the hammer. So our first one comes to us from Pringmeister. The title of the show is The Back Nine, and it will be 25 episodes, one season, so no split core. You got to be happy with that, right, Caroline?
I'm already
Anyway,
in.
Really?
I'm sold. Slams on gavel. The synopsis. Yuki dreamed of being Japan's best golf player, but when he turns 18, he gets his chance he gets accepted into Japan's best golf academy. Sounds like he's on the right track. At this academy, students are ranked from 1 to 200, and all year long, students will battle in challenges like mini tournaments, driving challenges, putting challenges, and something else, but there's a comma that leads nowhere, to earn points to become one of the top ranked students. At the end of the year, the top 9 students will compete in one final tournament to see who will take it all and become the academy's best player. Will Yuki be able to rise to the top and make his dream come true? Or will he fail and get a bogey? And the way that this show will make money is by being an actually good golf anime, which is rare.
Wow.
So,
Coming
Very.
from Pring, who is a
Birdie
devout
wing
lover
fanatic.
of Birdie Wing.
yeah, exactly. So clearly, not that rare.
Wow.
The Back Nine, besides kind of sounding like a hentai, what do you guys think?
I think it is a hentai, honestly. You can do a lot with it. Sounds a little like Blue Lock with all the
I was
rankings.
about to say,
Very shonen. But listen, if you're going to give me a real golf anime that is actually like respects the game of golf instead of just being silly, I would watch it. You know, I don't think it would be very popular. I don't think that golf is as hot-blooded or as widely spread as far as its, popularity as something like basketball or maybe even or soccer or something like that, but they do love golf in Japan, and I could see a bunch of people watching it, including a lot of old dudes. Like they're definitely gonna be like old businessmen reading the manga of the Back Nine and giggling about the name. So
so
Do you
Mitz.
think that there's actually over 200, I'm assuming, eligible people in Japan who would be in this academy, though? It seems like a
Yeah,
lot
probably.
of golf prodigies.
Golf is big in Japan.
it's pretty big, but
I could see
don't know.
this being like a high school that everyone specializes in golf in. Like I could see
But
200.
it seems like this is like a he just turned 18, so it seems like this is not a high school.
College, sure. I don't.
Yeah, it's more likely
I
to be
think-
popular.
I could believe
Academy.
200. I guess I don't know in my head if I would want it to be Blue Lock mixed with like Kaiji, where it's like weird putting challenges and weird like off kilter, or if it's more like Baby Steps, the tennis anime, where he's like very methodical. Like here's how I
Yeah.
improve my drive, or here's how I work on my chipping. Like what is it going to be? The serious sports anime, kind of like Mitz alluded to, or more of a wacky zany, tin cup? How are we gonna win this kind of event, kind of thing? So
The way that he describes it, I think he's taking it with more seriousness
Okay.
than Birdie Wing.
Yeah, I mean, you already have your goofy golf anime. I think I'm in. I don't know. I don't know that it would make a lot of money, which is kind of the point of this topic. But
I mean
It
something
was-
in
A yaoi, I think, would make money.
ooh
no, this
the
is
balls being
Take
dropped
this,
in.
include yaoi. I think you're set.
Yeah, because then you're appealing to just the innate battle shonen, like there's a ranking and you watch them go up in numbers or down in numbers, whichever way you perceive it. And that's always interesting. And then you have the deep, sensual golf boy romance and like all the like feistiness that could go on. And there could be like doubles. So like there's like different, oh, you have to find a partner kind of thing. Yeah, I know. I think I was on the fence. I was kind of like, like
He's
it's
in.
fine, but it's a little basic. I
We
think
got
with
him.
the yaoi implementation,
No.
got him.
No. No.
I definitely think that this has
Oh.
potential. We could talk about the yaoi later, but I think I'll also...
We'll negotiate the yaoi.
Yeah,
Wow.
we'll negotiate on that.
I guess we're just in a good mood today.
No, even without like that, I think that this would be a good thing to fill kind of the void that we have without, with no serious golf anime out there. So, yeah, I'll go in on this.
There we go.
All right,
I think
there we go.
Ringmaster got himself a winner here.
Strong start.
I think we got to change the name though.
But if it
No,
if
we
it
gotta
does
keep
do
the name.
yaoi, do you think it would work?
You got to keep the name.
Maybe. I think we could make it more sexy.
I have a comment that Caroline would never recover from if I said it.
Okay, I'm gonna take off my headphones. You can make the comment.
Go for it.
I was just going to ask how many golf balls you think someone could fit in their ass, but I don't know. Maybe it's too much.
Probably 3. I
I
don't
mean,
know.
who needs a
Okay.
caddy? Who needs a caddy?
My
Just
God.
You're
stuff them
you're
in.
good, Caroline.
Okay,
You
was
can
it
come
really
back.
that bad?
I don't know.
No.
Out of
It was
10,
just
Mason.
gross.
I mean, I guess maybe that wasn't as bad as I thought, but
I would give
All
it
right.
3 out of 10 for how bad it was.
wow, that's it. Okay, geez, I'll try
Well-
harder next time.
If you know what I mean.
All right, let's do the next one. Yellow Edge 64 submits an anime with the title Isekai Mass Exodus. And after a rise in vehicular fatalities, the Japanese police conduct an investigation into these deaths. Drivers report that the victims seem to walk deliberately into traffic. Officer Tonda catches a high school student in the act of walking in front of a car and interrogates him. He finds out that there is a website promoting self-deletion, as they say, ideation, in the belief that a new life in another world awaits them. Tonda is struck with disbelief at the student's words and accidentally wanders into traffic himself. The next thing he knows, he is in a crowded room like the DMV where overworked angels are tending to throngs of the recently deceased. Now Tonda must go to another world after his death and find out the fates of everyone who crossed over and maybe help them along the way. Wow, that's dark.
At first, it kind of
Jeez.
sounded like Babylon.
Wow.
Like people being hypnotized into self-deletion. Okay, I think we need to workshop the second half of this synopsis, though.
Okay.
I don't know. I feel like just him being in another world and having to meet people who also got sent to another world. I don't know. I like the first half is interesting. The second half kind of loses me.
I'm here to throw my money at a project that I think is good or right on the cusp of being good. I think this needs a lot of massaging to like get to a state between like what are we doing here? What's the message? Is like it's a little messy, and I don't like how much I would need to try to guide it to be where I think it needs to go. So it's unique, but at the end of the day, it's still an isekai. So I'm gonna take my Exodus and not do it. I don't like it.
Yeah, for me, I think it's a little too dark, and I think people come to the isekai genre to have like a lighthearted fantasy sort of romp around their favorite video game half the time, and I just don't think you're gonna get that from this. So, and
Like I think it's going for the optimistic, like he'll meet with these people and like get at what was troubling them and try to like rehabilitate them in some way. Like I get that there could
But at
be
that
that.
point, you're in another world, so it's not exactly like, what can you possibly do to help them? They're still in another world.
it seems very controversial.
Yeah, I'm out.
I think
I'm gonna
I,
get sued.
I think there might be something there, but as it is, I don't know. I can't put my name on it.
Okay, well, in that case, I need to get more of these drops, but I guess we do have 10 of them.
You're a nothing burger still. There is no tomorrow. You're dead to me when you say no to my deal. You're dead.
You're
That's
dead.
a fitting drop.
Yes, it's fitting. Okay,
All right, Caroline.
next one comes from Rice Quakes, in parentheses, coming to you live from Anime Hell. So they write, That was a weird way to say it. Greetings, AAA podcast sharks. Might I offer you a tasty idea to chomp on? Badass woman killing cute things. Imagining an anime where a group of foul-mouthed sorry, I'm having a hard time talking. Rampaging 30 to 40-year-old MILFs discover
Yeah.
a secret cult-like organization comprised of moe girls who use moe girls in moe settings to brainwash the entire world. This band of badass MILFs confront the nasty moe organization in hopes to save the world. A battle ensues, leading to a typhoon of violent, over-the-top, gory action. Imagine a love child of Chainsaw Man and Devilman Crybaby, except for demons getting massacred. It is evil little moe girls. Profits would come from the worldwide government. They would fund our project for providing a public service to the moe community, to the anime community by means of reforming weebs who previously liked moe. Exclusive anime side episodes of the badass MILFs doing sexy things, wink wink, even more coin. I'm not sure what to think of this one.
I
I
feel
just
like
watched one of those.
just listening to this doesn't do justice to the writing. So every instance of moe and MILFs in that typed up thing was in all caps. Profits are spelled like the prophet of like a god or something, not like profits monetarily.
I was trying so hard to like focus on saying everything
It's-
correctly. I didn't even notice.
It's a pretty. There's a lot of energy coming from this. Like you can tell
it could
they
have
were
used
passionate.
a read through. It could have used some editing.
But they came in a little sweaty. Their shirt collar was a
I
little
have an
undone,
idea.
but they came in with passion, you know, and I feel that. I appreciate that. But I don't know. I'm not putting together the Chainsaw Man, Devilman Crybaby. Like I think you just want this is just shoddy propaganda of anti-Moiness. And you know, if that's
Oh,
what you're coming
what?
for,
Get the
there's
fuck
nothing
out.
wrong with that. But I think from like a show, like just make the H anime. Just make it a hentai.
Yeah.
Everyone will
that's
be
what they
happier.
meant
I
by
like
H
hentai.
anime.
Yeah,
I-
like just bypass this. Just make a violent and sexy like 3-episode OVA.
Violent
That's
and
all this
sexy.
needs to be. You know, we don't need the full budget thing. But I like the passion. But I'm out.
It's definitely not my style, unfortunately. So I am out as well.
I think you had me at nasty moe.
Oh yeah, I agree. Yeah, thanks. It's a hobby of mine. I like to think that I am an anime Satan of the people, you know, and that the people they'll learn to love me in time. Except for that guy who called about the mermaid woman, the gamey looted fish bitch. That guy, I don't care if that guy loves me. He can fuck off.
I don't need drops. I'm fucking in. He's coming live from anime hell. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, it's like, how can I not roll with that? Were you both out?
Yeah.
I was too busy looking for drops.
You're pigs. Pigs get slaughtered.
The looted fish bitch. That's what he said. Well, I can't even remember what that was a reference to. Wow. There's a ton of these Satan drops on the soundboard. There's like 40 of them.
You made so many.
I know. All right. Next up is one from Raggedy Doctor. Mason?
Yes, this one from Raggedy Doctor is called the Zamboni bug.
Oh, jeez.
Which is Zamboni is like the thing that goes around the ice rink to like refresh the ice,
I got a
and
bone
an
for you.
e-bug is slang for emergency backup goalie. So Zambone e-bug.
that
Zamboni
really
bug.
true?
Okay, thank you for breaking that down for me.
Yeah, that's what e-bug means.
There's an emergency backup goalie. That's for real?
Yeah, so like in any like
Wow.
NHL or like AHL game you go to, there's someone in the stands who's hired by the home
Shut
team
up.
in case like both goalies on one team gets injured.
Has that ever happened?
Yeah, it happens usually maybe once every couple seasons, and it makes like a bunch of headlines of like local 29-year-old man from like the local area subs and makes, because it usually happens for like the last 3 minutes of a hockey game, and they get
Nice.
in, they take like 2 shots, and everyone like goes nuts.
All right.
And ignore like the loud like helicopter like landing on my house right now. But yeah, so the synopsis is
That
Daiki Sato is a 38-year-old former netminder who has always dreamed of playing ice hockey at the professional level. Unfortunately, an injury during his college years sidelined him and he never got his big break. The closest he gets to being a professional is to be the Zamboni driver for the Hokkaido Red Eagles and being listed as the team's emergency backup goalie, the E-Bug. One night, the Red Eagles starting and backup goaltender are both injured, and Daiki finally gets a chance to live his dream. He earns a shutout for his team and allows them to win the game, and he gets signed as their new starting goaltender. Production IG, 16 episodes, and money-making idea is set for the fall of 2025, right before the winter 2026 Olympics, to take advantage of the national pride and sell jerseys. And this is obviously just trying to cater to me with my propensity of being a goalie, liking hockey,
He's cheating.
making an atypical episode count because he knows that I like when shows are set as long as they need to be. I don't think anyone cares about this, though.
I do.
Like, I don't think anyone, like, we already just want a regular hockey show. We don't need the Zamboni. Like,
I want it.
I don't know.
I
Like,
think
even the hockey anime that we eventually will get called Dogs Red is so close to this show's in-universe team being called the Red Eagles. Like, it's already kind of aping so much of what we're getting. I mean, I'm in. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, you've got me hook, line, and sinker. I just don't think... I feel attacked because it's so personal. But you're welcome.
It does a lot to set up what's going to happen in the show, but I know this is like what we got from the synopsis. This is what happens in the first maybe 2 episodes. But what's going to happen throughout the rest of it just sounds like he's going to
be on the team.
Normal person being the goalie for a team. I kind of want to know what's going to keep me interested throughout this 16 episode season, you know? Like,
Yeah.
It could be fine, but I need to know what's the hook, except for him used to be a
Listen.
Zamboni driver.
Many great shonen shows start like this. Ippo was a loser kid who got bullied and rose up, became a hero to many that get bullied. You know, Goro Shigeno from Major, he was just a little kid who watched his dad die from a wild pitch during a Major League Baseball game, and then like rose up and followed in his father's footsteps. Rise up, baby! You know. And you got Kuroko no Basuke. You just had like Kuroko was this little 6-man guy who like was so small and weak that no one even noticed him, but like somehow he becomes, you know, an incredible point guard. This is along those lines. All those anime are great. And so there's Haikyuu, little fucking whatever his name is like 4'1". He'd never be able to spike a ball over a net, but apparently he has like a 7-foot vertical leap. He jumped up real high and spiked that ball right on your face, right on your dome piece. And so I'm in.
I think the difference, though, is a lot of those are team sports where you have to integrate, or like very like solo based, like boxing or something. Whereas like being a hockey goalie, like you're on the team, but you don't
move around much.
You don't integrate with the team.
Oh,
like
man.
You're kind of on an island.
Well, that's because
You're just going to have this sad 38-year-old with thoughts to himself being like, man, oh man, this equipment sure is sweaty.
No,
like,
it becomes a show. It becomes a show about the team, and all the characters on it have their own personalities. They all become interesting, and then they're all featured during the games. It's not just the goalie. You know, they don't plop the camera in the net, even though I'm sure they'll have some shots like that.
Veterans.
Well, I tried my best, Raggedy Doctor.
Sport.
I mean, I like
know.
it. I think there could be more to it. I think you got to have a bigger impact
Jeez.
for hockey
All right,
to make it
all
big.
right, we'll burn it down.
It's a big mistake with me on this one.
There you go.
Sorry,
I tried.
Raggedy.
I think that was going to be awesome. The next one is the Mamoru Miyano Show.
Oh, boy. Mason, are you looking out for a helicopter landing near you?
He's almost done mowing the lawn. We're almost safe.
I thought you said it was like a helicopter was flying around.
No, it sounds like it.
Oh, okay.
Sejinther writes, Mamoru is in the real world, cleaning all his awards when an earthquake hits and his Seiyu award falls and hits him in the head. When he wakes up, he is in an animated world populated with only characters he has voiced. Finding himself in a house shared with Light Yagami, Okabe from Steins Gate, Kotaro from Zombieland Saga. He goes through each episode dealing with problems such as Okabe claiming their landlord is head of the organization.
This is Reinhardt from Legend of the Galactic Heroes, by the way. That's the landlord. I feel like that's important to share.
Hiring Dazai from Bungo Stray Dogs to prove Light is deleting and saving programs on the TiVo. Kotaro accidentally summoning Pandora's actor, which is from Overlord. At the end of each of the 10-minute episodes, the real Mamoru walks through a hidden door back onto the stage into the real world to perform one of his hit songs. The show will be a promotion for the Mamoru Miyano live tour, and the DVD will accompany an album. Plus, we only need to pay one voice actor.
Well, you will have to pay several entities for the use of Death Note, Steins Gate, Zombieland Saga, Bungo Stray Dogs, Overlord, etc. So I don't know if this is going to be a very easy thing to produce.
Yeah, I'm out. I've never been into the Seiyu game. It's never... Like, I appreciate great performances, don't get me wrong, but there's the whole fascination and following of a specific voice actor or actress through all their avenues, like, really doesn't wow me. So seeing this, like, mega crossover is kind of whatever to me. So I'm out. Didn't he do, like, all the Gudetama voices as well? Like, didn't we already get this? Just him being goofy?
I think it's a funny idea, and I love the Mamoru Miyano obsession, but as an actual Shark Tank idea, I can't with this one.
I'm out as well, only because I don't think people care as much as one might perceive that they care. I don't know that Mamoru Miyano really holds enough cachet to create an anime empire worth investing in, although I think it was a cute idea. So I guess we're all out.
I mean, I think if you pick... every day is to try and find opportunities where I put money in harm's way and I get a return. I don't pick places where there are thousands of dead and rotting corpses.
That's my favorite.
That was a lot. What were you saying, Mason?
I was going to say, if you had to pick any voice actor to do this with, I feel like this is one of the guys to pick. Like, don't get me wrong, Miyano's amazing. I just don't, by itself, I don't think it's quite cutting it. Who is the guy who did all the voices for the CG one? Was it Miyano? I don't know.
For the what?
Don't know. I have no idea what you're talking about. I plead the fifth.
I'll look it up. All
right.
All right.
Caroline, you're up. We're running a little long. Yeah, keep going.
Should we just do this last one?
No, we keep going. I just wanted to let you guys know.
All right, so this next one comes from BYS Viper. They write, I asked ChatGPT to write me a synopsis for an anime with the genres of isekai, mystery, and psychological. And the title that this ChatGPT came up with is Beyond the Veil. In the bustling city of Shibuya, high school student Hiroshi Nakamura leads an ordinary life. However, everything changes when he mysteriously vanishes one day, only to awaken in a parallel world known as the Enigma Realm. Transported to this enigmatic realm, Hiroshi discovers that he has been chosen as the key bearer, tasked with solving the realm's deepest mysteries and riddles. Guided by an enigmatic spirit named Sora, Hiroshi embarks on a journey to unlock the truth behind the realm's existence and find a way back home. Unbeknownst to Hiroshi, the Enigma Realm is not just a random parallel world, it is a reflection of his own subconscious, a manifestation of his deepest fears, desires, and memories. Hiroshi must confront his own inner demons and unravel the mysteries of his past. That does sound like something ChatGPT would come up with.
I'm not a big AI fan, so I'm out.
Yeah, it's not surprising that like this offers nothing of value. And like, I don't know. It's just very bland. Also, I looked it up. Shinsuke Takeuchi is the guy who does all the voices in the Gudetama Netflix thing, not Miyano. So I apologize, Mr.
The only interesting thing about this synopsis I find is that the parallel world is like his subconscious and that he has to deal with his own personal issues as he traverses the world. That's the only thing that's interesting to me. And yeah, it is. I can't do a ChatGPT show. So we are. Bye.
I do like your name because Viper BTS is a hentai, but
Here's how I think of my
BYS?
money. Soldiers.
I already played that one.
I can't tell you how many people come to me and say, if I can get 1% of 1% of the billion, zero from zero is still zero.
He's right, bitch. Next.
Good to know that ChatGPT still stinks at writing original ideas. This one comes from Suki Wolf. This series, which is called Children of the Golems, which can be 2 cores. It's about girls being able to control golems, all caps, that are physically linked to them, like the one episode of Razafan. If the golems get too damaged, then so will the user. That's it. It will be a moneymaker due to a original concept in a time where anime original titles are a bit rare.
Funny how you say it's an original concept, but it's taken from an episode of Razafan.
And there's tons of other shows just like this. Like, this is
Razafan.
as barren as the ChatGPT one. Like, there's... We need
Sorry,
a little
sorry.
bit more. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Mr. Wolf, but
You can't say it's an original concept when you just give us a very vague idea of what it could be about
yeah. And
in one sentence.
yeah, I'm not sold. Thank you for submitting it, but
We appreciate.
I appreciate how brief it is.
That's true. But if you were to come back at us with a more descriptive synopsis, I'm sure we would consider it a little bit further.
I'm watching Viper GTS episode 1 now. Come on.
The letters keep on changing.
Yeah, my bad. Here's your drop.
I looked at the valuation and I say, are you guys out of your friggin' minds?
All right. This next one is from Booty Stank. Yeah, you better get in
I'm
the
in.
shower.
I'm
baby.
in. That's the name you can trust.
Use that. Use some soap, for God's sake. This is called Harem Hunter Yokoto from Studio Trigger. 69 episodes. Nice, what it says. In a world where people catch nymphs and use them in battle against others to gain wealth, fame, but most of all harems, the story takes place where a boy named Yokoto is starting his journey to become a nymph master. Yeah, I'm in.
This is a harem, probably ecchi Pokemon.
Yokoto has started his journey
Yes.
3 days ago and stumbles across his first nymph. Oh man, if only. He gets his nymph cube out to acquire his first nymph. He throws the cube, the nymph goes in, the cube lights up red, and then red again, and finally green. Now being able to take his new nymph out of the cube, and it immediately transforms into a small girl with a unicorn horn. The rest of the story follows Yokoto and his journey acquiring waifus and husbandos. The way the nymphs work is if you are a straight male, the nymph will take the form of a girl, and if you are a homosexual male, the nymph will take the form of a guy, and so on and so forth with girls as well. Money-making scheme, the show will have 2 versions, a censored version and an uncensored version, and the uncensored version is 100% nude.
But will
Not
they have
just the
nipples?
nymphs.
Take my
everyone.
money! Take my money now!
What does the nymph look like before you catch it?
I think he said it was like a fuzzy bunny. I had to cut this one down. It was really long. It was like 400 words.
I mean, a nymph is just like the nature deity from like, I don't know, like Greek mythology. Like they look like
Yeah, it
humans
is.
to begin with. So like, is the one you get different than the one that it ends up being?
What if,
Or maybe it's
you
more
know,
just like
you come across
ambiguous.
them when they
It's
are
a-
in tree form.
It's a wild rabbit-looking nymph with a unicorn horn sticking out of its forehead. That's what it said originally.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Shit, I'm in.
So you catch a Pokemon
And then you fuck it.
and then in your cube, and then it pops out and then transforms into not what you caught.
Is it bestiality if it starts out as a rabbit?
Yeah,
and then
that's
transforms
what I'm
into a
driving
nymph?
at. Like at the end of the day,
I mean, I'm in either way, but we all know I'm probably a furry, so I'm in either
you know,
way.
maybe that's
but
why he picked Trigger. Trigger has all those BNA shows, so
I'm in.
all of them being one. I feel like it's dangerously close to copyright infringement, but
I mean, we have
Cheetos are
Digimon.
dangerously cheesy, and I love them, so I'm in.
Listen, I'm not saying that I approve of the more salacious parts of this show. But I will say I think it would sell.
Oh shit.
So I'm going to stop
Just say it.
myself
Just
just
say
out
it.
of my morals because sharks do that all the
Oh,
time.
boo.
Like they
Just
can
say
see
it.
him making money, but it's not their brand. So
Say
they're not
it.
going to do it.
It's not our
It's not my
brand,
brand, man.
but she can smell the blood in the water, and she's
Okay.
in. She's taking a bite.
Pokemon.
I'm saying I think it would make money, but I'm going to take my money elsewhere.
Gotta fuck them
Okay.
all, pretty much.
Oh
I
God!
still want to know if it's just
That's
the
what
nymphs
this
that are
is.
naked,
Yeah.
or literally everyone in all
Yeah.
of society.
Yeah, baby. Okay.
Oh
Let's see,
no,
how
I
is
just
it?
like the idea in the like X-rated version, like guys who like girls, they get the hot girls. Girls who like guys, they get the hot guys, and like so forth and so forth. And the guy like catches this little bunny furry fuzzy creature, whatever, and it pops out as the same like bunny fuzzy furry creature, and everyone just looks at him
No.
like, "What the fuck, dude? Come on, you can't do that here.
We got
You
we
got
got
a
two.
problem."
We got two more of these.
Okay, next one. This is from God Emperor of Dune, and it's titled A Pope's Tale, The End of Days.
Yeah. Yeah.
The length is 11 episodes. In an ideal world, a Moe-less world, peace is shattered by the opening of a catastrophic rift. From this rift pours an influx of Moe filth. Moe girls arriving in droves, begin infecting all whom with they come into contact with their Genki essence and cutesy ways. With the infection spreading too rapidly to be contained, one lone pope will rise to say, "I'm getting too old for this shit." The tired pope is left with no choice but to leave retirement, gather his old acolytes, and rid the world of Moe trash one last time. Will our pope be able to reopen the anime pit of hell? Will he uncover the sinister origins behind the rift? Will he survive his final fight against all that is unholy? Money-making, dead Moe girl figures.
Yeah.
Uncensored
Yes.
Blu-rays with extra gruesome Moe murder.
Yes.
Dead Moe girl graphic tees.
Oh yeah, hey girl, come sit on daddy's lap.
Do you have your Moe hat? Or sorry, not your Moe hat. Your Pope hat packed, Mitz?
I'm afraid I do. There's not much left.
Oh no.
His power is temporarily sealed,
Oh,
everyone.
no.
Now is the time
Will
to
he
invade.
be able to open the pit of hell without the hat? Who
I can
knows?
just keep playing Satan drops. I have an hour of them. Oh my god.
This is funny. I think I
Fuck
can
it.
back this.
I think as who I am, as in my deep in my soul, it's imprinted on my being. I have to be in because fuck Moe. It's terrible. Moe is not as popular as it used to be. Have you noticed? It's not prevalent anymore. My mission. It's
Everything
working.
has its time. You know, it was a trendy thing. Now it's a different trendy thing.
I think I would need to define Moe more, because like there were a ton of shows with primarily girl characters doing cute things last season, from like Jellyfish and Girls Band Cry, and idol shows are still around. So like, but they're not like quite overly cutesy in the same ways that they were, 10 years ago. So it's like what Moe has kind of dissolved into the general anime vibe and like culture. So it depends on like where you're drawing the line of like what is Moe or not. But it's still around, just not in the same hyper granulated sugar that it used to be.
Are you in, Mason?
For you, my friend, sure.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And you have the last one.
Yeah, last one comes from Hobgent. Title: Control Alt Sakujo. 36 episodes plus one low budget live action. And I love that honesty. But let's see what this is about. Slice of life anime. Lub, a pervy and ridiculously enthusiastic Japanese underwriter worker in the US, goes through his what should be mundane day-to-day job with two things always on his mind. One, every female wants him when they clearly do not. And two, everything is a conspiracy. The revenue is Lub-themed office gag gifts will become a must at every office party. So this person just has bad
The
perception on
pervert.
what's going on in the world.
Harasses women.
I mean, does
And-
he harass them?
I mean, he thinks that everybody wants him, so I'm gonna assume that he kind of plays it up a little bit, like, "Hey, girl, you know, how are you doing? You're looking mighty fine today." And the girl's like, "Ew."
I'm just confused because
It's
out
an
of the
ick.
two things we know are one, every female wants him. Two, everything is a conspiracy. So is every female's attention also a conspiracy? Like, that's what I want to know.
I'm out.
So already
I don't
it's kind of tripping over its toes.
I don't even know what the. I don't even-
Not.
Jen from accounting loves me, but it's just big cereal trying to make a move on my wallet.
Here comes the HR monster.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a little. I mean, I like the low budget live action. I feel like we should start there, and if you can sell me on that, then we can move to the anime because that seems way difficult. I mean, maybe if these are like 3-minute long episodes, like that would make sense. But
Just
See,
say
I think,
it.
like we said at the beginning, you got to put some yaoi in it. But until you do, I'm out.
All right, are we out? Are we done with this?
We're done.
We did it.
Here's how it works. You go downstairs, get a bottle of wine, you look at the product, you set it on fire, you drink the whole bottle, and the two of you come to peace. Right. It doesn't work.
There you go.
Work.
I still think the best idea was the Zamboni, but
It was too targeted.
I have
I
been
like it
overruled.
though. I like it.
I love how we
don't
say
wanna be
that was
attacked.
too targeted when we literally have Mitsugi the anime and
We always have one podcast themed show. Hey, we don't make the rules or the
All right.
submissions, but
Well, that
if
was
you
really
think you have
fun.
a better idea, submit them.
Yeah, thank you everybody who submitted in, even if we did diss you quite a bit. Sorry, but
they
that's
love
just how the game is.
they love having their balls stomped on.
I
Put
hope
your
so.
put your
Because we
metal
did it
boots
quite a
on, embrace it.
Let's head into our intro weekly trivia question. In honor of our golf anime impression, Rising Impact, which of the following birds is not featured in the sport of golf? Albatross, eagle, birdie, or falcon? And we'll head into the news break and give you the answer after that.
Oh, you crazy anime addicts, Mitsugi's here. I'm bringing you your anime news. I know you love it. Getting us started off with new Season 2 announcements. The wrong way to use healing magic is getting another season. This was announced at Otakon 2024, the convention that just happened. This 13-episode anime series came out in the winter of 2024, and it was produced by Studio Ad and Shin-A Animation, so it looks like it was popular enough with its cute cat girls and overly aggressive white-clad boy-type characters to may get another season. With the light novel 3.25 million copies in circulation. It's a pretty big deal, and it's going to be coming back pretty soon with a second season. Next up, we have some interesting news. The broadcast of Our Last Crusade or The Rise to Another World is postponed indefinitely. So that's pretty interesting. As we covered the first season of this anime, it will be replaced by select episodes of the first season for the rest of the summer season. So Yuki Inaba was helming the second season at Studio Palette and Silverlink, but apparently this isn't happening. The article doesn't say why it was delayed, or rather indefinitely postponed, which I guess means it's just been canceled, which doesn't happen too often. The Young Animals serialized the manga's adaptation by Okama from May of 2018 to March of 2021. So the 7th and final volume came out in April of 2021. So that anime is, I guess, not coming out. Next up, the manga Tomodachi Game ends after a 10-year serialization. So Friends Game, it has ended in the Beisatsu Shonen magazine's September issue. It is done. It has 6 million cumulative copies in print, which is a fair amount for a manga. The TV anime was produced by Okuroto Noboru, which aired in 12 episodes on NTV's programming block in spring of 2022, and Crunchyroll came out on Crunchyroll, of course. So this has been adapted into dramas and all sorts of stuff. I don't know, we may get more content in the anime, I'm not sure, but it looks like at least the manga's serialization has ended. which means, you know what that means, you could get a conclusion via anime. Next up, the light novel Chitose-kun wa Ramune bin no Naka, which I haven't read the translation yet, but it sounds like she's in a bin of... She's inside of a ramen bin? What is going on? Chitose-kun is inside a ramen bottle. What is going on? How do you fit in a bottle? The anime series will begin airing in 2025. It has a lot of really, really cute girl characters that are very well dressed. This anime looks like it will be a hit. It looks like this anime's adaptation, the manga has been coming out since April of 2020. And Square Enix published the 6th volume last July, with the 7th volume coming out here later in August. So check out this anime's art. What is this called? Chitose-kun is inside a ramen bottle. That's a great title, and there are some pretty cute girls as well. This is Mitsugi, and this was your anime news break, and by God, it's time to get back to the anime podcast. Oh God, I hate this song. It's so annoying. Skip ad. Skip.
Hi, it's Vince with
Oh,
ShamWow.
fuck no.
You'll be saying wow.
I'll be
every
saying,
time you use this
wow, you're
towel.
so fucking
It's
annoying.
Like a chamois,
It's a chamois, it's a towel. Oh, who really cares? Skip. Anime addicts, do you miss ads like that? Do you miss your buddy Vince from ShamWow? Of course you don't, because we don't torture you with ads like that. Instead, if you want to support the podcast, you can help us stay ad-free by going to aapodcast.com/join. Hey, you can head over to patreon.com/AAApodcast for those of you that like Patreon. And you're going to get our hentai episodes, our hobby addicts, our after parties. And, of course, it's going to be commercial-free, so you get all that. What else could you possibly want? Again, over at aapodcast.com/join.
And now, great moments in Anime Addicts Anonymous history.
Will there be moe girls in cute outfits?
There can be.
I mean, I think if you want to make money, you're going to need that.
Sure, I'll sign that.
Little sailor outfits with cute hats and stuff.
Yeah. But like, I'm not talking about like we're going out for on a rowboat. Like, I'm talking high octane Olympic sailing where they're whipping around the buoys and stuff. The Keijo of sailing.
How are you going to fit all those asses in those tiny boats?
How are they going to fit in those life jackets? That's the bigger question.
How are they even going to row with them titties?
No, they row with the titties.
Yeah, they're just hanging off the sides.
And they're like, woo, 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 woo.
Are they going to like put their titties in the water and like use them as a flap?
Bro, why do you think they call it motorboating?
Welcome back to the podcast. When we left you, we had a trivia question, which was instantly spoiled on the Twitch, of course. In honor of our golf anime impression, Rising Impact, which of the following birds is not featured in the sport of golf? Such epic music. Is it albatross, eagle, birdie, or falcon? Well, and a birdie is 1 below par, an eagle is 2 below par, an albatross is, believe it or not, 3 below par, which is you almost never see, and although you probably will see it in this anime, I have to imagine. And a falcon, well, that does not exist. So there you go. And if you support the podcast at aapodcast.com/join or Patreon, hey, if you enjoyed our Shark Tank episode, head over there and you will get access to our exclusive RSS feed. It will let you access all of our bonus content for you, 8 exclusive episodes a month on your favorite podcast mobile app, and it's password locked, so you will only have access to it. Very exclusive, just for our fans. Again, over at Patreon or aapodcast.com/join. And most of the mobile apps that have podcasts are compatible, so you don't have to worry too much. And now it's time for mailbags.
It's time for an almighty anime mailbag. Anime.
Mailbag.
All right. If you want to submit a mailbag, you can do so at aapodcast.com. Just click on the mailbag button. And here we have one from Meatloaf141. And they say, they really come out the gates, just, firing away. They say, Attack on Titan is so overrated.
Oh my
wow.
God.
Ooh, them's the fighting words.
Yeah. Everywhere I go on the internet, I see people glazing it. Glazing? I haven't heard that term.
It means being, should I tell her?
No.
Is that an inappropriate
Think
term?
of like a donut. People love donuts. They're
Think
saying
of
it's like a donut.
what glaze on a donut looks like in which part of
Ew,
your... Yes. Okay,
stop.
you got it.
Fitz.
I'm innocent.
He's
Why didn't
Meatloaf.
have-
He can only talk in food puns, okay?
Okay. I see people glazing it, calling it the best work of fiction of all time. It's good, don't get me wrong, but a lot of it is just shock value. And I don't know about it just being shock value, because there was a lot in Attack on Titan that was pretty great. I mean, the fighting style and the twists and the world building, it's all really cool. And yeah, it's a bit dramatic to say, of all time. Though I don't know if there's... I feel like you might be over-exaggerating just how much people will be over the top with it. I certainly think it's one of the best in recent memory. I'll say that. And it's all a matter of opinion. But I feel like there are a few other anime of this time that have engrossed fans like it has now.
I am thrilled that you said glazing it on this podcast. I just wanted you to know that.
Twice.
You said it twice.
Well, I had to.
Did
you give me this mailbag for that reason?
No, I didn't. It's a throwback to...
Creamy Mommy?
Listen, I didn't even...
Well, that was great.
I didn't... Well, if you like that,
She's
just
like,
wait.
yeah, I was proud of that one.
Well, I mean, it is... They kind of set themselves up. It's not even an inappropriate anime, but they gave it a very inappropriate sounding name.
My comment on this was, I do think Attack on Titan has great writing. I don't know if I would call anything the best work of fiction of all time. That's kind of lofty. Honestly, I don't think anybody can really say that. But I would say Attack on Titan is one of the best anime of the last 10 years. And that's about it. I don't know. I can't say anything. Like, nothing's the greatest work of fiction. That's just hyperbolic beyond belief. There's too much stuff. So, and you can't read and watch it all to know. So, there's no... It's a crazy statement, but people do like to talk like that.
I think it's coming from just this overall universal acclaim that it gets of people, probably a lot of people watching Attack on Titan as probably their first couple anime they've ever seen, going all in on it and being like, this is the greatest thing ever, this is amazing, and just overhyping it. And I get that. Every show, to some degree, that gets really popular has that pitfall to it. I mean, Demon Slayer comes out, Jujutsu Kaisen comes out, and we're like, yeah, like, it's good, but is it the greatest thing ever? No, nothing is the greatest thing ever. No. That doesn't exist. But yeah, like my co-hosts have said, Attack on Titan is great. How it evolves from just a shock value, big monster, cool fight scenes to this whole world and universe of different political intrigues and different mechanisms and how the show evolves with its main character is really impressive in this world of fiction that is so impressive and just good. It's a really good show. And it's well produced, sounds awesome, gets the people going. So, yeah, Attack on Titan, good, confirmed.
You're wrong.
It's terrible.
I'm kidding.
I mean, it could be overrated. It can be an amazing show and still overrated. I'm not going to disagree, but also it's good.
I feel like it's a little bit better than you give it credit for.
Perhaps.
Lognog writes, if you could make any anime into a live action with infinite budget, which we know never happens, which anime are you picking? And who are you casting as the main characters? Well, I don't know about who I'm casting, but I think Berserk
it's so
would be
hard to think about.
I'd like to have the Golden Age part of Berserk done. I think it's very heavy with the political intrigue. It has a little bit of Game of Thrones vibes, a lot of violence. There's some sex in there, a lot of killing, demons, cool ass characters. Gridliff would be like super smexy. Yeah, it could be really fucking good. So, and totally for adults. Like HBO would love that shit. I don't know who would watch it, but because it's not George R.R. Martin, but
yeah, going off of what you had just said, like Game of Thrones, HBO, that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. Vinland Saga would probably fall into that category as well. I think it would certainly be noticed by fans outside of anime. I think they would be watched. Thinking of casting is really hard. I mean, I would need like a lot of time to really parse through because I'm not really all that well versed in actors and especially considering Vinland Saga takes course over many years, you would probably need like House of the Dragon level multicasting because they were pretty good with that and getting multiple characters to play the same or multiple actors, play the same character, and it worked really well. Yeah, I would have a hard time with that. Maybe also Steins Gate. That might be a fun live action. But that's it.
Yeah, I tried to pick an anime that doesn't already have a live action, and I will concede, misread your question at first. I didn't see the infinite budget, so I picked shows that are very feasible to make in a live action. So my two was Aka 13 and Welcome to the NHK. I think both of those work really well as a live action. And I did answer the casting for the main character. For Aka 13, you got to go with Ryan Gosling. He's kind of sleepy. He's got the blonde hair. He'd fit in. And for
Beach.
Welcome to the... Yeah, he does Beach. We all love Beach. There's probably a beach in there. And then Welcome to the NHK had to go with Daniel Radcliffe because he is kind of unhinged in all the best ways that I think we would need for that kind of movie. So there you go.
Well, you might be doing some like budget-friendly choices in anime. You'll definitely need that infinite budget to get Ryan Gosling and Daniel Radcliffe.
Oh yeah, the budget is for
just for the main actors,
not for the actual like CG that we would need. But all the good bread. The bread could be CG in Aka 13. It's got some good bread scenes.
All right, let's check our time here. We're doing good. All right, so we are now going to do our impressions.
Today, we're going to be doing impressions. Impression time, believe it. Ugh.
And on this lovely day, we will be wrapping up the summer 2024. How it works
It's been a
is
while.
yeah, we're a little late, but we're gonna do it now. So we picked about half the shows in the season every season, and we watched them, and we picked the best 6. Now we all realize that's not
7.
enough. No, we only picked 6 to pass.
Oh.
Yes. And then we let the listeners pick 3, so for a total of 9. Currently, we have passed 3 anime, which means we have 3 more to pick, so we're going to have a very positive slate of impressions today. And we'll see which ones pass and fail. Starting off with Plus-Sized Elf. So I know you can't resist. Plus-Sized Elf, what a silly fucking anime. I watched it, of course, because I'm...
Which version?
The uncensored, bro. What do you think?
My man.
What do you think I'm fucking doing? I watched this on my business trip this week in the back of an Uber. It has very short episodes. I was tempted to pass it just because the episodes are so damn short.
They're not plus-size episodes.
No, they aren't. Very nice. That was very good. But this anime is such trash. It very much feels like the dumbbell. How heavy are the dumbbells you lift anime? Except it's not nearly as well made. It's a Sentai Filmworks anime, and it's about this girl, this elf named Erufuda. So Elfda, I guess.
They didn't even give her a name?
No. Nope. And
it makes sense because like she's she's disguised, so she didn't come up with her own name.
Yeah, of course. Well, yeah, she's disguised for about 2 seconds in this.
Yeah, but it makes sense that the elf's disguise is just Elfda.
So she explains that the food in the elf world is very bad. They eat like, I don't know, bark or something. I can't remember what she said, but it's not good. And she's like, and I heard that the food in the human world is so good. So she goes to the human world to eat the food. And of course, she is addicted to French fries. That's mostly the thing, is that she just can't stop eating French fries, which I agree. French fries are it's up there. Okay, it's one of the best, tastiest foods there is, and a lot of that is because everything tastes good on French fries. But she eats so many French fries that she gains a ton of weight and can't go back to the elf world anymore because the door to the elf world somehow requires you to like have the same body mass that you had when you came in. So she can't go.
I heard about that. I feel like I've come up with a much better idea. Like, you know, when you go to an amusement park and you have to be a certain size or weight to be on the roller coaster.
Yeah.
I feel like they should just do that. Like the vehicle that takes you to the other world, you have to be able to be a certain size to fit in the seat.
I assume it's just like any like teleportation system where it takes all your molecules and mass and rearranges them at another place. So if you go in with more mass, like it doesn't know what to do with the other molecules and messes you up. So like you need to be the same for the transition back. We're being real scientific with this awful show.
Yeah. So Erufuda, she does lose her weight and she's super hot as fuck, honestly. Like I don't know how else to put it. They definitely put an S tier hentai character like figure on this elf girl when she loses all the all of her French fry weight, but then she goes back, and then I think she comes back again and gains all the weight back. So she comes back and she just can't stop eating the French fries, which is, I don't know, not that different than how like real food addictions work. And so she gains all the way back again. In the second episode, there's a dark elf that they insert another character, which is not too surprising, named Kudoeda, which just means black. She's a dark elf. So, and Kudoeda has the same problem, but her like ass is huge, I guess. So like she squats down and her giant ass just explodes her panties off and all this, and it's such a silly fucking anime. But it is so dumb, and it looks really bad. Now I wouldn't really mind watching this. Not only is it short, so we'd all get like an easy week where in case you're busy, which is August is like the most hellish month of all time for me. But it's also just, it's not cliche. I mean, like, I don't know that there's another anime like this. So I don't hate that it exists. I just wish it had more like funding behind it so that it could look a little better and be a little more substantive, but it's just not.
How is it as an uncensored anime?
I couldn't tell you.
What do you mean?
I didn't watch it uncensored. Oh, as uncensored.
Watch it uncensored.
It's not good. I mean, we're not working with like Studio T-Rex like tatas here.
It's not like a show where they have sex. It's just her clothes explode off her body, and you either see her or you don't.
She gets a massage in the first episode, and he's like, "Okay, well now you need to take your clothes off or whatever and get on the massage bed," and she just like stupidly takes everything off, including her bra and everything, and then you see them. You see her nipples or whatever, and they're not like, it's not very tittillating. I mean,
but it's not one of those shows where it's like 5 minutes long censored, 17 minutes uncensored, like where you're missing most of the content.
No, it's not. There's no hentai in it or anything. It's just here's like nipple shots, and it's not really a big deal. But I guess I'm gonna fail it. I mean, I don't think it's really. It's just trash, but like I do like the originality of it, and it's a little funny, but ultimately it's just not gonna make the cut. But like I said, if you want to pass it for listener's choice, I'm not telling you to, but I wouldn't mind watching it.
You shall not pass!
There you go. That's plus-sized elf, which is the title alone is just insane. And there's a ton of girls in this picture, in this cover, and there's I think exactly the amount of girls as there are episodes. So it's just going to be one girl
He's
after
cracked
another.
the code.
Yeah, I cracked the code. There's a cat girl. There's a pig girl. Let's see here.
Do they all have body issues?
I don't know.
That the draw?
I honestly don't know. So couldn't tell you.
All right. Okay, heading into my first impression for today. I have 4 of them, by the way. So lock in. First one up. Alya sometimes hides her feelings in Russian. This is from Dogokobo. It's based on a light novel. And here's the synopsis. Smart, refined, and strikingly gorgeous, a half-Russian, half-Japanese girl named Elisa something in Russian. Kujo Mikhailovna. Yeah.
Okay. Whatever.
She is considered the idol of her school. Even though she's admired by all, she's seemingly unapproachable in person. One of the few exceptions is Elisa's benchmate, who is relatively average. He spends his days watching anime and playing gacha games. Despite his nonchalant demeanor, the boy, Masachika, is the sole student to receive Elisa's attention. She's nicknamed Alya, by the way, so I'll just call her that. Unable to be fully honest, Alya is frequently harsh on Masachika and only expresses her affection in Russian. Unbeknownst to her, however, Masachika actually understands the language, yet simply pretends otherwise, for his own amusement. As the odd pair continues to exchange witty and playful remarks, their relationship gradually grows more romantic and delightful, and Alya might finally learn to freely convey her true feelings. So I just picked this show to fill out my roster for the season. Everything about the synopsis sounded really trite and uninteresting. But then I watched the first episode and I realized that this show is my brand. My brand! I freaking love this shit. So, on top of that, it is far better looking than it has any right to be. It is not like, off the wall incredible, but it's still a pretty good looking show. And it has unique EDs for every episode. Alya is a very good tsundere. I'll say that. I really like her. She's pretty much friends with Masachika, but she just busts his chops sometimes. And for the most part, they are pretty decent friends. In Masachika, despite sounding like the bland black-haired protagonist that I'll also always complain about, he's actually pretty funny and charming, and I appreciate him as a character. There's another girl named Yuki, who is a girl that has known Masachika since childhood. She's very touchy-feely with him. So of course, Alya doesn't like this. They are not, like, officially together, but she's frequently seen around him. But here's the thing. You get to the second episode, and it gets a little wild. So there are some major plot twists from here. So if you are at all interested in this show, I recommend that you kind of skip forward a bit so you won't be spoiled.
Uh-oh.
Yuki, the other girl in love with Masachika, is actually Masachika's little sister. And this is not something they both know. The thing is that their parents divorced and they were raised in separate households. Though I think they now live under one household, but it's not.
Oh, yeah.
It's not publicly known
people.
to everybody in their class that they're siblings. Like, they all think that they're not because they have different last names. But at the same time, Yuki is freaking in love with him. Like, she will get on top of him in bed and like make very suggestive comments all the time in like private and in public.
This is your brand, Caroline?
What? No, she's not my brand. But the chaoticness is pretty fun. I really don't know how serious she is about her affections because it does, to a degree, feel like she's just doing it to mess with him. But only a small degree, because otherwise it does feel pretty serious, especially since she keeps on doing it in private as well. Masachika, as I mentioned in the synopsis, he does know Russian, due to having a childhood friend who spoke Russian but has forgotten her name. So I'm sure you're assuming that Russian girl is Alya, because of course it is. It has to be her. But you would be mistaken, because we find out that it's Alya's older sister. And she has a crush on Masachika from childhood.
A harem is born.
So
honestly, if you learn an entire Russian language for one girl, like, you're allowed to have girls crush on you.
Yeah,
like, that's a flex.
Yeah.
Good on you, my dude. Putting in the hours.
Yeah, so she realized, so later on, her sister, I think her name's like Masha. Masha realizes that like Masachika is her childhood friend. It took her a second, but she's like, oh my god, you're him. But the thing is that even though she does have a crush on him, she knows that Alya has a crush on him. So she, while still has the crush on him, she's still kind of, pushing Alya to be with him, which is, very appreciative. Like, what a sister. That's a good sister. So altogether, it's complicated, but in a really fun, crazy way. So I was really enjoying it. But here's the problem. A major focus of the show is the student council. And Alya is going up against Yuki to become school council president. And I think it just lost me. The student council is way overly important in this show. And it's silly. It's just silly. And it just feels like this is where a lot of the focus of the show is. I did watch half of the show now. And yeah, it is still on Alya and Masachika growing as a couple because Masachika is going to be her running mate in the election. But if it was just about Alya and Masachika and the dumpster fire of love interests, I was heavily considering passing this show because I was enjoying it. But if it's going to be this much focus on the student council race, it has lost my attention as a passable show. So I would not say no to it as a listener choice. I think it is definitely going to be a contender for that. But I can't pass it.
That is one big pile of shit.
You gotta love.
It's really fun. I
Jeff
recommend.
Goldblum. All right, I believe this is my last impression. Is Rising Impact. So Rising Impact is a golf anime. It's like we had none, now we have 3. It's fucking crazy. It's like they, I guess Birdie Wing must have been a hit. Now they're just rolling out all sorts of golf.
Don't forget,
animes.
we got the back 9 on the way.
That's right. So Rising Impact is this anime about a young boy named Gawain who lives in a mountain town, kind of like the girl from the. I can't even. Oi Tombo. Oi Tombo. And he has he's. I don't want to say he's dumb, but he's definitely weird. He's like, he just wants to hit things and make them fly really far. I mean, and that's not even like an exaggeration in this anime. He literally likes baseball because he can make a baseball go like 300 feet or whatever, right? But when he discovers that golf is a thing, he instantly drops baseball and goes straight to golf because he can make a golf ball go way further than a baseball. It's just so dumb. It's like, bro, why don't you just build like a catapult and just like, or get a slingshot? I don't know. So one day he runs into this girl who's visiting the area, and she introduces him to golf, and the girl's name is, I can't remember their names, Kiria, and she's like a pro golfer, and so she discovers that he's a prodigy. He has like unbelievable strength for a child his age. I can't remember why he has so much strength. They do talk about it. Oh, he lives in the mountains, and he is very good at chopping wood. So he like has to chop wood for winter and all this. And so he's exceptionally good at it. He can cut down trees amazingly. And so he has a lot of like back strength and stuff. And swinging the axe to cut down a tree isn't that different than a golf swing. And so he's developed these muscles, putting aside the fact that he's like 12. So, whatever, because 12-year-olds, I don't know, probably don't have much testosterone yet, but it's an anime. So she gives him one of her old drivers, and essentially he practices with the ball. He practices swinging the driver with no golf balls so much that he basically destroys his hands. Like all the skin on his hands is coming off. It's very kind of bloody, actually. And he begs his grandfather, who's the only person there with him, to let him go to Tokyo, I guess, to pursue this golf, so he can make the ball go really far.
That sounds so juvenile. I want to make the ball go really far.
Well, yeah, he is. Let's see. Do they give his age on here? He's not old. It doesn't. I'm not surprised. But he looks about 8. I don't know. He's probably 12, but he looks 8. And so he gets to Tokyo, and he makes some friends. He meets some kids that are bullying this other kid, and he challenges them. They all play golf somehow, and then the 2 kids challenge Gawain and the boy who's getting bullied to like a driving range contest. So they add up their yards, and whoever gets the most yards wins. The kid that's getting bullied, he can only hit the ball like 90 yards, which is really shitty. And the other 2 kids, they can hit the ball about 150 each or so, which is also kind of shitty, but they're kids, right? So, and then Gawain gets up there, and he hits the ball so hard that it hits the 300-yard mark on the back of the fence, which isn't even like, he Happy Gilmore's it, basically. And they like can't believe it. And then he does it again, and it's just very shocking. And then this girl walks up, who's the captain of the golf club or whatever at some college or high school or whatever, and she's like, well, you're very good at driving the ball, but you're never going to be able to beat me because you have no idea how to putt. So she takes him to the area of the driving range that has putting practice, and he's fucking terrible at it, just like Happy Gilmore. And she puts the ball like 5 feet from the cup and puts her own ball like 30 feet away and says whoever gets the ball in the least amount of strokes wins. It takes him like 28 strokes or something stupid. Like, it would never take that long. You could literally just tap it like lightly, probably 6 times at the humanly possible most amount of attempts before it would go in, but it takes him forever. And then she's great, so she hits it in one putt, and he loses. Then he realizes that it's not all about how far you can hit the ball, but he doesn't even know how to just tap it in. Just tap it in. Give it a little tappy, tap, tappy, taparoo. This anime isn't awful, okay? It does have the setup for a shonen golf anime that isn't goofy. Gawain is a little weird looking. I don't think he's going to be for everybody. He looks a little... How do I put it? I don't know. He just looks like marionette-like, complete with like rosy cheeks. If they had drawn some some downward-facing lines at the end of his mouth to make it look like he was a puppet, he would look like a puppet. Honestly, it's very strange. But oh man, most of my anime are very bad, and this anime isn't super terrible. And I do like golf, so I'm gonna pass this. But you know, there are worse things in the world, and even though there are no, there's no nudity in this.
I don't think I've ever been this excited. You're excited? Feel these nipples.
We'll give you the nipples anyway. I don't know. It's fine. It's probably better than Oi Tonbo. I actually like it better than Birdie Wing, although I don't think it's going to draw as many people because it's very serious. It's way more serious, and he needs a kid. So he's probably going to join like the youth league, and maybe, who knows, it might go on for a while. I'm not really sure. It does have a manga, and the manga has 170 chapters, so that's fairly long, I guess, and it's probably enough for at least 2 seasons, I would think, at least. Maybe more, probably more. So, yeah, that's it. Rising Impact. It's not horrible. It's easy to watch. You don't have to, like, give it your full attention.
All right. Well, next up on my list, I have Makeine. Too Many Losing Heroines. I'm still trying to figure out how they are supposed to, like, Makeine. I guess that's how it will go. Too Many Losing Heroines. It is being done by A1 Pictures, based on a light novel. And here's the really terrible synopsis that they gave that I remember when we did our impressions, or sorry, not our impressions, our selections. Kazuhiko Nukumizu, a self-proclaimed background character, accidentally witnessed his popular classmate, Ana Yanami, being rejected by her childhood friend. Since then, Nukumizu has become involved with several loser heroines, including Ana. And that was the synopsis they gave. So, despite that terrible synopsis, I thought the PV, when I was making my selections, I thought it was really good looking. So, I just threw it in my list on a whim, that it would be good. So, after watching several episodes, this is a rom-com anime about the characters not in the rom, if I were to put it in one way. So, the girl in the synopsis, Ana, she just got rejected by her childhood friend who has feelings for a transfer student. At the same time, she's also being constantly invited to hang out with the two of them since they're still, friends, but it's driving her insane. Like, she is trying to pretend that she is okay, but she's just stewing in anger. And right after her rejection, she goes off. She vents to Nukumizu because she recognizes him in the restaurant. And you're like, hey, you're in my class, right? And then so she like forces him to sit down and starts venting. She also starts ordering like a ton of food because she's just hangry. The thing is that she doesn't have any money to pay for the bill. Nukumizu pays. And now the only way that she is able to pay him back is by cooking him lunches for school. So she'll cook him lunch, and then they just sit there eating because she still doesn't want to hang out with her ex-childhood friend and his new girlfriend. So now they're just having lunch together, even though they're not really, set up to be friends. This is just a circumstance, really. Another girl in their class named Lemon. Yes, Lemon. And yes, she does have a lemon hairpin. That is part of her personality. She is dealing with the fact that her childhood friend is romantically interested in another girl. And then there's another girl named Komari who is crushing on her club president. But the president is sort of with his childhood friend. Like, it's not confirmed, but they're basically together, except in name. So all three of these girls start relying on each other to get through their heartbreak, as well as Nukumizu, because, he was being a support for Ana, and now he's just involved with all of their problems. So the show itself is gorgeous. This is like if Makoto Shinkai did a typical anime, like not a movie. It just altogether really well made. And it does give the feeling that it's not like other rom-coms, but it still has some tropes. Like they put Nukamizu in sexual situations a lot. So like he gets locked in the equipment room with Lemon, and Lemon, who is getting overheated because it's hot in the equipment room, she starts taking off her clothes. And then I think she's pretty much butt naked in this equipment room and just falling over Nukamizu because she's overheated. It's just that those parts are just really silly. But it does happen kind of frequently. They also have a nurse at this school who is oddly sexual too, so that's weird. And their teacher is downright annoying. She looks and acts like a child. Like she'll come up on screen and I'm like, who the frick are you? And like, what class are you in? And then I'm reminded that she's their teacher. And it's not even done in a way that's memorable and fun. It's just annoying. And to be honest, I was a bit back and forth on this show for those reasons. But I won't completely spoil it. One of the characters takes a massive jump in confessing to their crush in a way that is just so rare for an anime character to do. And it was just such a juicy moment that it was really, really good. Altogether, I really like these characters. And I think it has potential to stand out in this genre despite a few of the drawbacks that it has. Because for the most part, it is a very fun and interesting show. So I am going to pass Makeine.
Woo!
Woo!
Yes! Now this is gonna be a good story.
I feel like oddly sexual could be used for so many anime.
I just found some legit looking hot chicken in Knoxville. I'm so hungry. Oh yeah. I don't have any more impressions. Who still has
Caroline,
impressions?
you just keep the pain coming.
Keep it going. Okay. Okay, next up, I'm going to talk about Oshinoko.
Oh, here we go.
2. So,
Pretty
Studio
girls.
Dobo Kobo, based on a manga, 4 months after the finale of season 1 in the show's timeline. So we got Aqua and Kana Arima. They take the stage for the theatrical adaptation of one of a popular manga series called Tokyo Blade. Co-starring with them is Akane Kurokawa, who, after the events of their reality dating show in season 1, she is now Aqua's girlfriend for business purposes. But she really likes him, so she's kind of annoyed that it's just for business purposes. However, when the mangaka of Tokyo Blade comes to one of their rehearsals, the production is thrown into chaos after she demands a total rewrite of the script. Aqua, however, is more concerned with his personal goals than he is with the play. He aims to grow closer to the director, who has a connection to Ai and possibly her murder. But with a new, more emotional script that he's going to have to play out, he's also forced to come to terms with his fragile emotional well-being since Ai's death. So, impression. Coming into it, I was confused by a lot of the characters because it has been a while since season 1. I forgot several of them. And also how they were all interconnected. Like, I kind of knew who they were, but I also was just blanking on their backstory. But, yeah, Ruby is not really present in this season so far because it's primarily focused on the play and the cast and the crew, which honestly, I don't mind because I'm not a huge fan of Ruby. Other than Aqua and Kana and Akane, the other returning character in the play is Melt, the boy whose terrible acting ruined Kana's drama show in the first season. So, first thing I noticed was the insane amount of exposition telling us about the industry, because I forgot the first season did that a lot too. Luckily, the first couple episodes is where that's mainly in. Like, after that, it doesn't really happen all that often. The season itself is really focused on two things: the production of the play and emotional arcs of several characters. So Kana and Akane are stoking each other's rivalry as actresses, but also in their romantic feelings for Aqua. So they have a thing going on. Aqua, who I mentioned, has a very emotional role to play in this production. He is suffering from PTSD from Ai's murder. So while he's trying to come up with, an emotional performance, he actually starts to have panic attacks. So he's trying to combat that. And Melt, though he is a very forgettable character from season 1, he's trying to prove himself as an actor. And actually, the most recent episode that came out was a great episode. It actually focused on him in particular. So I would not have expected that to be a really good episode, but it was very well done. The animation has been really good, especially during the play sequences, because it is a fighting manga, like an action manga that they're adapting, and this is a very high budget play. So it's really cool looking, and I'm really enjoying this arc. And I think I've heard it considered to be like one of the best arcs in the whole series. It's still not really about Ai's murder mystery, because I really don't think that's what the actual show is about. It's more of the
Come on, man.
that's the MacGuffin, if I'm using that word correctly. It's that's how everything is being drawn, but it's really not what it's about. It is very interesting. It is a good industry show, and minus some of the exposition. And I think people might actually I'm starting to think this is better than season 1. So I feel like I have to pass it.
Groovy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Twitch does
But
not like
I
our
have-
shows we're picking. I can tell you that right now.
I have one more to talk about here, and
You're-
I think you already know how it's going to go. But
You know what I gotta say though? Like honestly, if you don't, I mean, are there even really 6 shows that are worth passing from summer?
generally enjoying mine. Not every I have not come across a perfect show, but it was kind of I was kind of flip flopping a little bit.
I mean, I literally had
generally liked them, but there wasn't any perfect passes here.
I literally had a show about a guy who finds a Moe girl robot in the ocean that's essentially just going to be plastic memories again, or Chobits, but probably not nearly as good. I had a show about a guy who went to a magic school but can't use magic, but he's really strong, which is just Mashal. I had an ecchi show about a fat elf, which is really stupid and terrible. I had... What else did I have that was bad? I have another show I had that I can't even remember what it was because it was so unmemorable. It was the Didisa, and that was an ecchi anime. I don't know. It's like, what do you want? It's just like there's just not a lot going on in the summer season.
Yeah, it's certainly not a great season, but I'm generally enjoying it, I think. And
The summer season.
I'm still going to be continuing with Alya. Sometimes Sides Are Feeling is in Russian, despite it not passing.
Yes.
Okay, last one for this season. We have Elusive Samurai. This is from Cloverworks, based on a manga. The synopsis is as follows. 8-year-old Tokiyuki Hojo is the next successor of the Kamakura shogunate. He is a young boy lacking talent in everything besides hide and seek. One day, his carefree life is abruptly turned upside down when the Kamakuras are overthrown by the people they trusted most. Rescued by a self-proclaimed prophetic priest, Tokiyuki manages to escape with his life. Now he must evade those who are trying to kill him while recruiting comrades who will help him restore the Kamakura shogunate to its former glory. All right. So first things first, animation-wise, it's really good. There's a lot of running sequences as he is the elusive samurai, as the title shows. They look so good, and it's very visually interesting overall. One thing I'm not sure is like a plus or a minus or just a weird thing they do. The screen has a very subtle shake to it. It's kind of like how it would be in an old film, but visually it doesn't look like an old film, so it's a weird little detail that they would do. Honestly, it originally I thought it looked pretty awesome, and it really got me hyped. But it also has a lot of tonal whiplash. So some characters are very loud and goofy, mostly the priest who's caring for Tokiyuki. He is just over the top, and not even in a funny way. even in a anime that was kind of like supposed to be, silly, goofy, I would still not like him. He's just severely unlikable. And it's just, I hate it whenever he's on screen. At the same time, though, it is extremely bloody and brutal. Like, I think there was a scene where Tokiyuki and his brother were playing with a ball, and when it bounced on the ground, it became a rolling head of someone who was just beheaded. Because they kind of slapped the two scenes together of just peaceful life and the overthrowing of their government.
That's pretty brutal.
I mean, it's surprisingly so.
It can't be as bad as Shigurui, honestly. There's no freaking way.
I wouldn't know. But
it's
not.
Organs,
it's not.
Did a samurai slice off a girl's erect nipples just to show that he could?
No.
Well, then it's not as bad. Yep.
Yeah. But I'm sure there is far more violent stuff out there. It's just violent for the tone that it initially sets itself up with. But it will still like slap back and forth. Like even when you do get to those brutal scenes of people being murdered left and right, it will still instantly go back to being goofy. And it just uncomfortable. The story is following Tokiyuki as he finds his, in his own unique way, the path to restoring his family's power because, he's like, I'm a coward, I run away, but apparently, according to the priest, like, you can use that to take over the country. And so that's kind of their goal. So the weird priest is, like, propping him up to be some sort of biblical savior. He's like, when you turn 10 years old, you will lead a massive army and take over the country. Like, that's based on his prophecies. And that's weird. The priest also recruits, like, a bunch of kids who are fighting prodigies to be Tokiyuki's crew. So these kids are fighting and killing, but they're also really slapsticky and silly. Generally, I struggled with this one because on one hand, it had so much going for it. And I was really anticipating for this to pass because I like Tokiyuki and the brutality is appreciated for me. But the priest is a major problem. I can't stand him. And altogether, it's just too juvenile in a lot of ways for me to enjoy it when it actually gets serious. So it's going to be a no.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
There you go. Well, we have passed 6 shows now. Thank you, Caroline, for powering through that.
No
we have
problem.
passed Dead, Demons, Day, Destruction. We have passed Sakuna of Rice and Ruin, Shoshimin, How to Become Ordinary, Rising Impact, Oshi no Ko Season 2, and Makeine, Too Many Losing Heroines. And I am going to probably put up the listener choice poll today, even though this episode's not out yet, because I don't know when I'll do it during the week, because I will probably dismantle this recording setup in the next 24 hours. So
if you're listening, vote right now, because you're going to forget. If you're like, oh, I'll get to it, like I'll do it later. No, open up your phone, go to AAApodcast.com. It'll be like on the first page, just scroll down a bit. It'll say like summer 2024 listener's choice. Hit that. Pick your 3 favorite shows. It takes a minute. In the time I've been talking, you could have done it already, and we'll actually review the show you want instead of being like, "Oh, I wish I had voted." Oh, do it.
Do it now. Do it now.
Do it.
So there you go. All right, and that's going to be our show for today, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. I think this was a really fun one. I did have a lot of fun, and I can't wait to see what anime you guys pick from the listener choice, because I always love following it and seeing, like, oh my God, this show was in first. Oh my God, now this show's in first. It's just always a lot of fun. So please go over there and take care of that. So
what's the next show we're going to review?
We are going to be doing Windbreaker. So there you go.
Get hype.
Get hype.
Not for another 2 weeks.
Yes. A very difficult period of time. But we will be here with you in spirit next week. So, and you know what? We probably deserve a small vacation anyway. We've recorded an episode 97% of the time for the last 14 years. So, which I don't think any other podcast probably ever has done. So, But until then, we will see you guys. Don't forget that listener's choice. Don't forget to tell your friends. Don't forget to check us out on social media. Thanks to Caroline and Mason. Too beautiful for words. Oh. It's just amazing. We will see you guys next time on the podcast. Until then, be good unless you are like me, in which case don't.
Be good.
I love you long time. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.